We have a most interesting story for you. Since Debbie Wilkes first laced up a pair of skates as a 5-year-old in Unionville, Ontario, she has been immersed in figure skating. As a competitor, broadcaster, author, marketer, she has shown dedication and passion in promoting her sport. With her partner, the late Guy Revell, Debbie Wilkes was a 2-time Canadian champion. Her career highlight, though, was competing at the 1964 Winter Olympics in Innsbruck, Austria. Now, this is absolutely hard to believe. It was 50 years before their result became official. What you're about to see, ladies and gentlemen, is a truly fascinating story.
Do you remember the first time you said, you know what, I want to go to the Olympics?
I had the Olympics as my goal from the time I put on my first pair of skates.
In 1963, Debbie Wilkes and her skating partner Guy Revell were training for the World Championships. Their path to the 1964 Winter Olympics in Austria seemed all but certain, until suddenly it was anything but.
I have no recollection, no memory of the fall, thank goodness. It was devastating. I was taken to hospital, unconscious. The day that I got out of the hospital, that night, overnight, I hemorrhaged internally and woke up the next morning with my face paralyzed.
A year out from the 1964 Winter Olympic Games, Debbie was diagnosed with a fractured skull. The facial paralysis eventually went away, and after just a few months, she and Revell resumed training. Remarkably, they skated to a bronze medal behind teams from Russia and Germany. Now, explain this to me. One picture here, it's black and white. Those are bronze?
Yes.
Another picture here, they're silver. How do you explain it?
It's kind of unusual, isn't it, to win 2 different medals for the same event?
2 years after the Games in Innsbruck, the Germans were disqualified, elevating Wilkes and Revell to silver. It had been discovered that the Germans had signed a professional contract prior to the Games, which was strictly prohibited at the time. But the story doesn't end there.
Suddenly I look at the records and I see that I'm back in a bronze medal position, and I went, well, I've got the silver medal. What is that all about?
In 1987, 2 German members of the International Olympic Committee initiated a request for the German team to be given back their silver medals. They felt that many other teams of their era had similar professional contracts. The IOC agreed, and in the IOC's terminology, deemed the team, quote, rehabilitated.
Everybody tried to understand what this rehabilitated was. And honestly, Brian, I felt a little bit like an imposter because I had the silver medal, but all the records said bronze.
So how did it come about that the IOC corrected their records?
A year ago in St. John, New Brunswick at Skate Canada International, there was a U.S. journalist there. So I told the story of winning the bronze, giving it back, getting the silver, the ridiculous inconsistency in the records.
Armed with the revelations in her New York Times article, Amy Rosewater convinced the IOC to correct their records to show Canada as the silver medalists.
What does it mean today to Debbie Wilkes to finally have the records set straight?
As long as I had the silver medal in my possession, I didn't think it really mattered all that much to me until I got the official news, and I wanted to tell the world.
As I said, that is a truly fascinating story. Debbie's partner, Guy Revell, died in 1981. He was buried with a silver medal. He can now rest in peace. The medal controversy has finally been settled. And one final note. I have worked with Debbi and known Debbi for years. Debbi Wilkes is a classy lady, both on and off the ice. Lots more to come.